Have you woken up recently with that pit in your stomach? That feeling, you wonder, is it fear? Is it worry? Or is it grief? What we're experiencing is a trial. It's suffering. It can be as small a things as thinking that the things that we were planning on doing with our kids at this time of year, because they're only a certain age. For Melissa and I, the child dedication we had planned for just a couple weeks from now, they're getting delayed, postponed. Some of them are canceled. I spoke with a young woman who wouldn't be able to have her senior prom. They're going to do a Zoom prom. Others are missing out on graduation or big events. There's a grief because of the loss. There's also grief because of actual death, the loss of a loved one that we're struggling with, the physical issue that we're dealing with. Maybe it's the loss of a job that you thought was your lifetime career, and now all of a sudden you're out unemployed. These struggles and trials that we're dealing with need us to live in hope. Yesterday, we looked at how if we want to live in hope, we need a living hope. And Peter, in his letter in 1 Peter, writes one really long sentence in the Greek, in the original language that he wrote in, and that's all the way from verses 3 to verse 9. So yesterday, we looked at the first half of this very long sentence that was challenging us to live in hope by having a living hope through Jesus, because Jesus literally rose from the dead. He conquered over the greatest enemy, death. And he is still alive right now with power. So when we hope in him, we can carry through. But then Peter goes on to continue to challenge us to rejoice in the refining. Rejoice in the refining. Even when we're struggling, suffering in a trial, we can have joy. That's what rejoicing means. Have joy. Find happiness in the hardship. Well, how do we do that when things are so hard, when we have that feeling of grief in the mornings? Peter says in verse 6, "In all this you greatly rejoice, though now for a little while you have had to suffer griefs in all kinds of trials. These have come so that the proven genuineness of your faith, of greater worth than gold, which perishes even though refined by fire, may result in praise, glory, and honor when Jesus Christ is revealed. Though you have not seen him, you love him. And even though you do not see him now, you believe in him and are filled with," get this, "an inexpressible and glorious joy. For you are receiving the end result of your faith, the salvation of your souls." What Peter is saying is that the trials we're going through, the grief that we're going through, is all working on us to refine us. You know the concept of refining fire. When metal was thrown in, especially gold or precious metals were thrown into a fire so that all the impurities, the excesses could be burnt off, and all that would be left was the pure gold. Peter says this trial, it feels like a fire that's burning us. It's hot, it hurts, it's difficult, but all that is for our refining. And he says because of that, we know that at the end we're going to be pure, we're going to be more genuine, as he tells us, proven through it. We are growing and becoming more and more the people that God has created us to be. So that's why we can rejoice in the refining. I think apropos for our time is more the concept of a caterpillar. Think about it. A caterpillar is living a normal life and thinks everything's good, and then goes into a cocoon, right? A cocoon, they're isolated, they're by themselves. There's this period of time where their life is not normal. I think we feel like that we are in our cocoons, maybe at home, maybe at our businesses. We're trying to Zoom chat with people and it feels so awkward and difficult. Maybe like us, you had a Zoom call with your family on Easter, and there's always technology difficulties, isn't there? And even though when everything goes great, you think, man, I wish we could be together. I wish we could hold hands and hug each other and be face to face. There's something missing in this time. We're in our cocoons right now. Maybe you're out of work and you're at home wondering, what do I do next? And in this cocoon, I believe that God is transforming us. He's putting us through a metamorphosis, a challenging process, refining all the old stuff going away, so that when we emerge from this cocoon, whenever that may be, he says it's temporary. He says it's just a little while, Peter says. Because honestly, in the big scale of our lives, in the big scale of eternity, this is a very temporary thing. And when we emerge on the other side, we will be incredible butterflies. God will have metamorphosized us into something incredible. So I challenge you, even right now, rejoice in the refining.